Do you ever hit a wall? You notice your life isn't going the way you had hoped it would turn out? You had all of these desires for the life you wanted, but now nothing is turning out like you hoped it would? In this video, I will share what I realized from years of agoraphobia, extreme anxiety I suffered with daily, and panic attacks that controlled my life. I realized at the center of all suffering is one thing. Welcome, I'm Brandy, and I've spent the last 15 years on a spiritual and self-empowerment journey. I recently became inspired to share the wisdom I've gained along the way to help you reclaim and integrate the lost parts of you. In a previous video I made titled From Agoraphobia to Living Life, I go into 3 ways I shifted my beliefs, my thoughts, and my nervous system to go from having severe bouts of anxiety and panic to now living a life I've always desired to live. Today, I want to talk about one of those 3 ways in greater detail. That one thing that was at the center of all of my suffering: fear. We often think of fear as a jump scare, like we see a spider or a snake and we fear it, so we jump back. I didn't realize that the grip fear had on me in ways that I didn't fully recognize as fear. So firstly, I'd like to go into what fear actually feels like, because it can be so fleeting and we can often miss it, or we can mistake it altogether for something different. So fear. What does fear feel like in our bodies, and why is it important to understand this? Fear can feel like that extreme jump back, freeze, or run away response. It can be large as something outside of us hits our nervous system and fight or flight kicks in full gear. And fear can be extremely subtle. So extremely subtle, we don't even know it's controlling us, as if we are puppets with its hands up our back. To show you how subtle fear is, if you can, I invite you to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now, I would like you to focus on small, almost impossible to detect sensations of your nerves. Perhaps you have an urge to move. Maybe you just can't sit still. Perhaps you can't keep your eyes closed very long. You have this almost nagging feeling to open them, which pulls you away from your body and then into your outside world. Fear is so subtle. It's the slight shakiness of our hands, trembling in our voice, that very small wobble in your legs, the feeling of weakness or collapse in your body. We often don't notice these very small, extremely subtle nervous system responses that live in our bodies. You may open your eyes now. For years, I have been a student of A Course in Miracles, the Way of Mastery, as well as I've practiced energetic work from the Tantric, Yoga, and Taoist traditions. There is one energy source in this universe that has been split off into many varying degrees of perception. The one true energy in this universe is love. Love can take many forms: joy, ecstasy, bliss, passion, compassion, happiness, elation, and union. Anything outside of this one true energy of love is nothing but an illusion. However, it's a very seemingly real and felt illusion. This illusion is fear and all that stems from it: separation, anger, grief, guilt, hostility, despair, and the likeness. I like to think of it as the shadow of a tree. It isn't real. The shadow, while visibly discernible to our eyes, in reality isn't there. You can step through it. You cannot engage with it. It wouldn't be there if not for the sun. Therefore, anything dependent on something else for its existence isn't truth, as it cannot stand on its own. So fear, while yes, it's an illusion, holds a very tight grip on our perception, as well as our interactions with the world and others. So what can you do about this grip that it holds on you, the grip that you feel within your body in those small ways? I would like to share with you some ways that helped me release fear in my body that had been holding me back. And I hope that you can find value in what I share. The first thing I'd like to share is awareness. Awareness is the very first foundational step because you cannot transform what you do not see. Remember earlier when I invited you to close your eyes and notice the subtle sensations of fear, that tiny wobble in your legs, that urge to move, or that faint collapse in your belly. That is awareness in action. It's you becoming the loving witness to your inner world instead of being ran by it. Most of us have lived our whole lives reacting to fear without ever recognizing it for what it is. We think often that we're just tired, or we're unmotivated, or worse, that we're not good enough. But underneath each one of those lies fear. So awareness is about slowing down enough to feel, to notice what's happening in your body on a very subtle level. Not just what your mind is saying about what's going on around you. When you bring awareness to fear, it begins to lose its power. You give it light. You move then from being the puppet to being the observer. From being gripped by fear to gently holding it in love. The second thing I would like to talk about is perception correction. Once awareness begins to grow, we can start to question what we're actually perceiving. A Course in Miracles teaches that all fear is really just belief in separation. The idea that we could be apart from love, from source, from who we are. So perception correction is when we remember what I'm feeling may be real to my nervous system, but it is not truth. When fear arises, whether through anxiety, panic, or that subtle inner collapse, it's proof that your perception has temporarily shifted away from love. You can gently ask yourself then, is this fear showing me something unlovable in me that's ready to be seen? Or maybe you could ask, what would love say about this situation? As you shift your perception, you begin to recognize fear not as an enemy, but as a messenger, a shadow that can only exist because light is present. You stop trying to fix yourself, and instead you remember yourself back into wholeness. And finally, embodiment. Awareness and perception correction are powerful, but embodiment is where it all anchors into your lived experience. Your body is the bridge between illusion and truth. It's where fear has been living, and it's also where love wants to be remembered. Embodiment looks like breathing into tight places instead of resisting them. It's grounding your feet on the earth, softening your belly, letting your shoulders drop, and reminding your nervous system, I am safe now. It's also about choosing love in action, moving your body in ways that feel good, nourishing yourself, and allowing pleasure to live in your body. All are ways to teach your body that safety and love are its new home. This is how we retire the grip of fear, not by fighting it, but by returning the body to the vibration of love over and over and over and over and over again. So when you find your body giving those subtle sensations where you are lacking safety, or you find yourself saying, I don't feel safe, now what? Pause. Remember, first become aware of what's happening inside of you. Then correct your perception by remembering that fear is not truth. It's a shadow born from love's light. And finally, embody love. Breathe it, feel it, live it through your body. Because the more you choose to meet fear with love, the more you'll realize you are never truly unsafe. You are simply being invited to remember who you really are. So with that, I want to thank you so much for watching. And if this message resonated with you, take a deep breath and remind your body, I am safe. I am loved. I am whole. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.